Our meeting agenda is devoted to the public defense of Vан Нань's dissertation titled The Effect of Carbon-60 Fluorines on the Dynamics of the Musculus soleus Contraction in Rest After Chronic Alcoholization, which was submitted for official defense to the Academic Council at Лесі Українки National University for the Doctor of Philosophy degree in Knowledge 09 Biology, Specialty 091 Biology. Are there any comments from you or any suggestions regarding the agenda announced? If there is no comments or suggestions, who is in favor of approving the agenda, just vote with hands. So please vote with hands to make seen visible your decision. Can you hear me? Please vote with hands to make it clear. Anyone against? Or maybe there is no one, and maybe some abstentions? No one, so the agenda received unanimous approval, as I say. Dear members of our council, dear participants, following the procedure for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and cancellation of the decision of a one-time specialized academic council of a higher education institution, scientific institution, to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy approved by the resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine on the 12th of January in 2022, number 44, a one-time specialized academic council was established at Лесі Українки National University. This council has the authority to consider and conduct a one-time defense of the dissertation by Vан Нань, titled The Effect of Carbon-60 Fluorines on the Dynamics of Musculus soleus Contraction in Rest After Chronic Alcoholization, submitted for official defense for the Doctor of Philosophy degree in Knowledge 09 Biology, Specialty 091 Biology. With pleasure introduce the supervisor. Here was Мотузюк Олександр Петрович, candidate of biological science, associate professor, Department of Human and Animal Physiology in Лесі Українки National University. And as well, with great pleasure, I introduce the members of one-time specialized academic council, which was approved by the order of the rector of Лесі Українки National University. The number of the order is 270, that based on the decision of the academic council of the National University, number 9 of 28th of June 2024. The chair of the council is Morенко Алевтина Григорівна, doctor of biological science, professor, Department of Human and Animal Physiology, Лесі Українки National University, reviewer, Абрамчук Ольга Миколаївна, candidate of biological science, associate professor, Department of Human and Animal Physiology, Faculty of Biology, and forestry, Лесі Українки National University, and opponents. The first is Костюков Олександр Іванович, Doctor of Biological Science, Professor, Head of the Department of Muscle and Physiology, Bogomolets Institute of Physiology, National Academy of Science of Ukraine. The next one, Maznichenko Andrei Volodymyrovich, candidate of biological science, associate professor, Department of Sports Theory and Human Movement Activity, Gdansk University of Physical Culture and Sports. And the next one is Цимбалюк Ольга Володимирівна, Doctor of Biological Science Professor, Associate Professor, Department of Molecular Biology and Bioinformatics, Institute of High Technology, Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. So the meeting is attended with all 5 members of the one-time Special Academic Council. All of them are online. And given the full attendance, the quorum, we have the quorum, full quorum, and we can start the meeting. And so because of that, I declare the meeting of the one-time Special Academic Council is open. We have the language of the meeting English because our PhD student, our applicant is international PhD student, and so he has the right to be provided with defense in English. Let me introduce the applicant to you and scientific community because our meeting is recorded and is public. Ван Нань was born in 1987 in Chinese, and he is a Chinese citizen. He gained a university degree and graduated from Nanyang Medical University in 2013 with a master's degree in pathology and pathophysiology. Since 2013, he has been teaching and conducting research in the Department of Pathology at hospitals, research institutes, and universities in Jiangsu Province, China. In 2014, he worked in the field of pathological technology and diagnostics at the Institute of Animal Science, Nanyang University. And since September 2019, he has been a lecturer in Jiangsu Medical Vocational College. The topic of the dissertation was approved at the meeting of the Academic Council of Lесі Українки, National University on the 11th of November in 2020. Number of protocol is 12. With the title "The Effect of Carbon-60 Fluorines on the Dynamics of Musculus Soleus Contraction in Rats After Chronic Alcoholization." The applicant has completed the educational and scientific program offered to candidates for the said level of higher education in the specialty of 091 biology, with a deadline for completion on the 15th of October in 2024, this year. The applicant has published 10 scientific works related to the dissertation topics, including 7 articles, research articles, two of which are in professional scientific journals in Ukraine, and 4 in journals indexed in Scopus database, and further 3 publications are in conference abstracts. The scientific supervisor, candidate of biological science, Associate Professor Мотузюк Олександр Петрович, provided a positive assessment of the applicant's work during the preparation of the dissertation, fulfilling the individual scientific work plan and the individual curriculum. He also noted that Ван Нань possessed the personal and professional qualities worthy of the Doctor of Philosophy degree in Knowledge 09 Biology in the specialty 091 Biology. On the 27th of June 2024, during a meeting of the Department of Human Physiology and Human and Animal Physiology at Lесі Українки National University, the applicant made a public presentation of the scientific results of his dissertation, followed by discussion. The results of the discussion are reflected in a positive conclusion regarding the scientific novelty, its theoretical, practical significance of the dissertation results. The conclusion states that the dissertation ties the effect of carbon-60 fluorines on the dynamics of musculus soleus contraction in rats after chronic alcoholization fully meets the requirements outlined in paragraph 6 to 7 of the procedure for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and cancellation of the decision of a one-time Specialized Academic Council of a higher education institution as approved by the resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine number 44 dated by January 12, 2022. The dissertation was recommended for the defense to confer the Doctor of Philosophy degree in knowledge 09 biology, specialty 091 biology. On the 28th of June this year in 2024, the Academic Council of Lесі Українки National University decided to establish a one-time specialized academic council with the authority to accept for consideration and conduct a one-time defense of Ван Нань's dissertation to confer the Doctor of Philosophy degree in knowledge 09 biology, specialty 091 biology. Following this decision, the university issued the order number 270Z regarding establishing the one-time council. Under the requirements of the procedure for awarding the Doctor of Philosophy degree and cancellation of the decision of a one-time specialized academic council of a higher educational institution, the applicant submitted all necessary documents and fully met the established requirements. On the 4th of July in 2024, an electronic copy of Ван Нань's dissertation and information about the composition of the one-time council, specialized academic council, were published on the official website of Лесі Українки National University. And on the 5th of July 2024, information regarding the formation of the one-time specialized academic council for the defense of Ван Нань's dissertation was entered into the information system of the National Agency for Higher Education Quality Assurance. Reviewers from reviewers and reviews from reviewers and feedback from official opponents were received on time and are positive. Лесі Українки National University has not received any request from other individuals to evaluate the decision. Additionally, thus, all documents were received by the one-time specialized academic council in full. They meet all the requirements established by law. Do all members of our council have any questions regarding the document presented? If there is no questions, no. So we will go on. So the present main provision to present the main provisions of the dissertation, I am passing the word to the applicant, Ван Нань. Ван Нань, please proceed to make your presentation of your dissertation.
Okay. Good afternoon. Could everyone can see my screen?
Is it visible well?
Okay. Good afternoon, dear Madam Chairman and members of the Dissertation Council. The most common skeletal muscle myopathy is chronic alcoholic myopathy. More than 12% of people suffer from this condition for a long time. The immediate consequence of alcoholic myopathy is a deterioration in the muscle contractility and a decrease in the muscle strength. In the process of developing alcoholic myopathy, free radicals are formed in dysfunctional mitochondria, which leads to destruction of myocyte membrane structures and functional disorders of their enzyme system. It is known that 16 fluorines are able to effectively establish and inactivate free radicals in vitro and in vivo system. Moreover, they penetrate cells and localized in the mitochondria. A number of in vivo experiments have shown that the administration of the compatible 16 fluorines leads to significant positive therapeutic effect in skeletal muscle. The aim of this study was to investigate the effect of the 16 fluorines on the dynamics of the muscle soleus contraction in rats after chronic alcoholization. In accordance with the aim, the following tasks were set. One, to determine the levels of change in the main mechanokinetic parameters of contraction of the arch muscle soleus after chronic alcoholization for 3, 6, and 9 months under the influence of 16 fluorines in different doses. Two, to determine the biochemical parameters of the blood plasma after chronic alcoholization for 3, 6, 9 months under the influence of 16 fluorines in different doses. 3, to investigate the effect of 16 fluorines on the mechanokinetic parameters of select muscle contraction and the biochemical parameters in blood plasma of rat 1 month after cessation of alcoholic intoxication. For the experimental study, 19 healthy male rats of the West-Dying breed line aged 45 to 115 days were used. Animals were divided into 9 experimental groups. Groups 1, control groups, 3 months. Group 2, alcoholization 3 months. Group 3, alcoholization 3 months plus 16 fluorines. Group 4, control group 6 months. Group 5, alcoholization 6 months. Group 6, alcoholization 6 months plus solution of 16 fluorines. Group 7, control group 9 months. Group 8, alcoholization 9 months. Group 9, alcoholization 9 months plus solution of 16 fluorines. For 3, 6, and 9 months, rats received 14% acetyl alcohol once a day at the rate of 2 milliliters per 100 grams of animal body weight. Animal from the intact control group received an equivalent value of distilled water in the same way. Experimental animal of the alcoholization plus 16 fluorines group received 16 fluorines in dose of 1 milligram per kilogram of weight along with alcohol. The dose of 16 fluorines the dose of 16 fluorines was recalculated every day throughout the experiment. The amount of 16 fluorines administered was controlled by denying the animal access to 100% drinking water until they had completely used the drug. A 12-bit analog to digital and digital to analog converter was used to record the electrophysiological signals of the muscle contraction. The DAC output pulse triggered isolated pulse that stimulated the nerves. The input signal was fed through an amplifier to the ADC and recorded at a sampling rate of 10 kHz. A linear motor in the servo control position was used to stretch the muscle and measure the force it developed. In the analysis of the meiotic response, several biokinetic parameters were considered as the main markers of the presence of dysfunctions in the muscle excitation response chains, namely 1. Change in the level of the minimum force of the contraction. 2. Change in the time of the achievement of the maximum force response. 3. Change of the level of the maximum force. 4. Change in the impulse of the muscle force. 5. Change of time, reducing the force of the contraction by 15% of the initial level. 6. Change of the time of output of power parameters to initial level. The size of 16 fluorines particles in aqueous solution was determined by our atomic force microscopy and dynamic net scattering. The AMF data demonstrate the presence of the both singular 16 fluorines molecular and their nano aggregates in size of 2 to 15 nanometer in water. The selection of 1 milligram per kilogram dose is based on the experiment established data that indicated on the higher protective effect of 16 fluorines on the model of the oxidative stress model. It was noting that the dose of 16 fluorines aqueous solution used in the experiment was significantly lower than the LD15 value. The analysis of amplitude rate changes in the force response of the active muscle made it possible to assess the level of the influence of the studied drugs on this is process. When 16 fluorines was administered with the duration of the alcoholization of the animal for 3 months, the latency of the muscle force response increased by 4%. It should be noted that this parameter did not change with an increase in the number of the contraction. With an increase in the time of the alcoholization to 6 and 9 months, these indicators were increased to 107% and 111% respectively. During the phase of the maximum force response maintenance, prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations were observed throughout the entire stimulation period. The level of the maintenance prolonged fluctuations activity. Tremors were observed throughout the formation of smooth tendinitis in chronic alcoholic rates. The time of smooth tendinitis established increased significantly and amounted to 3,816.4, while the control value was 3,545. After administration of the fluorines 16, this time was 3,611, which almost corresponded to the control value. Thus, a significant positive effect of applied fluorines on the formation of a small tendinic contraction is recorded. To confirm the biochemical changes in active muscle under the influence of 16 fluorines, we analyzed the biochemical parameters of blood plasma. Changes in the level of creatinine made it possible to assess the level of the myocyte damage in the development of the alcoholic myopathy. This indicator increased from 15 to micromolar per liter in control to 123 after alcoholization rate. A 5-day administration of 16 fluorines reduced this figure to 16.4. In the control group of the lactate level was 12. After alcoholization, its value increased to 17. Injection of 16 fluorines reduced the level of the lactate to 13. The administration of the 16 fluorines reduced the level of LDH to 311. The decrease in this enzyme with the administration of the 16 fluorines may indicate both a decrease in the mechanical damage to the muscle fibers and the contraction of the lactate in the muscle system as a whole. The increase in the fluctuation of the creatinine physokinase in the blood with the development of alcoholic myopathy from 516 in control to 1,618 is the result of rapid physiological destruction of the myocyte walls, which is enhanced by active, prolonged non-relaxation muscle contraction. With the introduction of 16 fluorines, the level of the CPK decreased significantly. The force of the muscle soleus contraction experiment animals after 9 months of chronic alcoholization and 2 months of rehabilitation period was analyzed at 1 Hz of a long relaxation stimulation lasting 1,800 seconds. Once recording the strength response of the alcoholic animals, a decrease in the muscle strength activity to 15% to 70% of the control value at the end of the experiment was reviewed in rate treated with alcohol and 16 fluorines. This an increase in the muscle strength response during the experiment by 14% to 45% compared with the group of the alcoholized animals, and by 12% to 15% compared with group already treated with 16 fluorines 1 hour after alcohol intake. This was observed. The time of the reduction of the muscle force response by 15% of the initial value was 1,241 seconds in the control in the group of alcoholized animal with the use of the 16 fluorines. This time was 1,521 and 1,675. Thus, the positive effect of 16 fluorines administration according to scheme 2 and scheme 1 was 34% and 10% respectively compared with the group of alcoholized animal. It should be noted that after 2 months of rehabilitation, the time of reduction of the force response by 15% of the initial value was not recorded in the group of the animal. 16 fluorines plus alcoholization changes in the level of the minimal contraction force are one of the most sensitive markers of the muscle dysfunction. It's decreased in the group of alcoholized animal was more than 17. This column, more than 17%. Once 16 fluorines were used, this indicator was 0.52, this column, and 0.69 Newton. The positive effect of 16 fluorines administration according to the scheme 2 was more than 17%. Compared to the group of alcoholized animal, and more than 25% compared to the group of rat treated with 16 fluorines according to scheme 1. Low frequency stimulation provides an opportunity to effectively analyze the development of the muscle fatigue. A significant decrease in the muscle force response was recorded 1 month after the cessation of the model alcoholization and the use of the long relaxation stimulation of a given frequency and duration. The impulse of the muscle force in the group of alcoholized rates was this column. There was 63% in control group. In the control group, the value was 19.6%, and in the group of alcoholized of the group animal receiving the mixture of alcohol and 16 fluorines, the value was 18.4%. This 18.4%. In the control test during the last contraction, this indicator was 0.87, and in group of alcoholized rate, the value was 0.63, and in the group of animal treated with a mixture of alcohol and 16 fluorines, the value was 0.84. Change in the level of the maximum contraction force are an indicator of general dysfunction of the muscular system, indicating a decrease in the maximum possible force response in the development of the pathology. The value of this marker in the control group was 0.85 this column. In the group of alcoholized rates, the value was 0.56 this column. Newton. And in the group of the animals receiving a mixture of the alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 0.78 this column. To confirm the apparent mechanical result, we analyzed the biochemical parameters of blood plasma used to assess the development of the muscle myopathy. The creatinine content in the group of the control animal was 156. In the group of alcoholized rates, the value was 209. And in the group of the animal treated with the mixture of alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 166. The content of creatinine phosphate kinase in the group of the control animal was 1,214. And in the group of alcoholized rate, the value was 1,016. And in the group of animal treated with a mixture of the alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 1,305. This column. The level of the lactate in the group of the control animal was 13.9. This column, molar. In the group of alcoholized rates, the value was 17.1. And in the group of the mixture animal receiving a mixture of the alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 14.1. The concentration of the lactate dehydrogenase in the control group was 315.6, and in the alcoholized animal group, the value was 417.2. This column. And in the group of the receiving mixture of alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 371. The explanation for the positive effect of the water-soluble 16 fluorines may be their powerful antioxidant properties. Determination of changes in the level of the pro and antioxidant balance in the tissues of studied muscle is necessary to confirm the hypothesis. The antioxidant defense system of the body against the development of alcoholic myopathy is able to neutralize the reacting oxygen species using the enzymes superoxide dismutase and catalase. On the other hand, excessive superoxidase dismutase activity causes excessive production of H2O2. The content of H2O2 in the group of the control animal was 1.9 micromolar per milligram. In the group of alcoholized rates, the value was 2.4, and in the group of treated with a mixture of alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 2.1. The activity of superoxidate dismutase in the control group was 2.9. In the alcoholized group, the value was 3.8. This column. And in the group of animal receiving a mixture of alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 3.1. Catalase activity in the control group was 2.4. And in the group of alcoholized rates, the value was 3.1. And in the group of animal treated with a mixture of alcohol and the 16 fluorines, the value was 2.5. The activity of the glycine peroxidase in the group of animal was 3.2. In the alcoholized group, the value was 4.2. 2. And in the group of animal treated with a mixture of alcohol and 16 fluorines, the value was 3.1. Thus, the positive effect of 16 fluorines on this marker was 26% compared to the alcohol group. Thus, the data obtained indicate that water-soluble 16 fluorines as a powerful antioxidant contribute to the effective restoration of the functional activity of the skeletal and the muscular structure of the body after 9 months of the chronic alcoholization and 1 month after cessation of the alcohol consumption. It has been shown that oral administration of an aqueous solution of 16 fluorines at a daily dose of 1 milligram per kilogram reduced the effect of the chronic alcoholization by 35 to 14% on the studied biomechanical parameters of skeletal muscle contraction and by 20% on the studied biochemical parameters of the blood and the muscle tissue compared to the alcohol-free group. This indicates that the aqueous solution of 16 fluorines has a protective effect on the dynamics of muscle soleus contraction against the background of alcoholic myopathy, which opens up a new possibility in the treatment and the prevention of meiotic damage. That concludes my presentation. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Ivan, for the presentation. Thank you a lot. So report is done. So let's move on to the question session. Dear members of the one-time specialized academic council, questions can be asked either orally or in writing in chat even. Who has any questions for the applicant, dear colleagues? Let's prepare them. Now the floor is open to Associate Professor Olga Mykolaївна Abramchuk. Please, you have a question.
Thank you, Алевтина Григорівна, and everyone present. Ivan, tell me please, why did you choose this particular model of red alcoholizations and what are advantages?
Thank you. Thank you very much for your question. We considered alcohol tolerance and behavior response as the first advantage. Rise exhibit behavior and physiological response to the alcohol exposure similar to those of the human alcoholics. We considered colorations in muscle contraction dynamics as the second advantages. The soleus muscle operates is structurally and functionally similar to the corresponding muscle in the humans. Studying the effects of the alcohol on its contraction dynamics helps understanding the impact of alcoholism on human muscle function. I hope that addressed your question.
And my next question, Ivan, there are many forms of fluorines known today. Why did you use the 60 form in your research?
Thank you for your insightful question. In my research, I chose to use the 16 fluorines for several reasons. The first and foremost, unique molecular structure. The molecular structure of 16 fluorines proposes the high symmetry and distinctive electric distribution. Its configuration provides numerous pi electrons that can effectively react with the free radicals, thereby eliminating harmful free radicals in body and protecting cells from oxidative damage. Secondly, easy synthesized and purification. 16 fluorines can be relatively easily synthesized through methods like chemical vapor depositing and purified by various technologies, and ensure the use of the high purity of materials in experiments. Thank you for the insightful question.
Thank you, Ivan.
Are you satisfied, Olga Mykolaївна?
Yes, I'm satisfied with answers.
So we will go on with the next question. So I give the word to the Professor Alexander Ivanovich Kostykov. Do you have questions?
Thank you. I have two questions. The thesis does not describe the mechanism of C60 fularenes entering muscle cells and their possible side toxic effects on the body. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you for your question. It helps me expand on the topic. Here is what I believe. The current research on the mechanism of 16 fularenes entering the muscle cells is still insufficient, but we can hypothesize that it may enter the cells by passive diffusion, endocytosis, or protein-mediated transport. Regarding its potential side effects, my study has already included a safety assessment observing the physiologic and pathologic changes in the chronic alcoholic rates exposed to 16 fularenes. The present study shows that the 16 fularenes does not induce significant toxic effects at the used age. However, the future research can further explore its long-term impact and the broader toxic system profile. That is my response to this question.
Okay, thank you. And another question. The thesis demonstrates the effective antioxidant effect of water-soluble fularenes against skeletal muscle dysfunction in the setting of chronic alcoholism. And how, in the author opinion, can our known antioxidants act in this case? Has such a comparison been made? Thanks.
Thank you, Professor, for raising this point. In my view, in our study on the oxidant effect of water-soluble 16 fularenes against skeletal muscle dysfunction caused by chronic alcoholism, we acknowledge that other known antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E also play a role in similar pathology states. However, we choose water-soluble 16 fularenes as the antioxidant not by chance. In fact, before we embarked on this study, we had already completed the comparative research project that evaluated the efficacy of the both 16 fularenes and the vitamin E as the antioxidants. In that study, we found that C16 fularenes demonstrated a significantly greater advantage than over vitamin E in protecting skeletal muscle from the alcohol-induced oxidative damage. Here are my thoughts on this question.
Thank you. I am satisfied. Thank you.
Satisfied. Thank you. So I can give the word to the Olga Volodymyrivna Cymbaluk. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much, Alevtina Grigorівна. Yes, tell me please, in your dissertation, the experiments was carried out only on the model of chronic alcohol myopathy. However, in real-time, acute cases of alcohol abuse often occur. Will such studies be carried out in the future in your study?
Professor, thank you for your thoughtful question. My perspective on this is in future studies, there are indeed plans to consider the impact of acute alcohol abuse on the muscle contraction dynamics and the potential therapeutic role of the 16 fluorines in such cases. The current research focuses mainly on the chronic alcoholic myopathy models because they stimulate the sustained effect of the long-term drinking on skeletal muscle function. However, acute alcohol abuse is an important area of the research as it involves different pathologic mechanism and short-term changes in the muscle function. Based on the findings of the current study and the future research directions, we will consider expanding our research to include acute alcohol abuse models to assess the applicability of 16 fluorines for muscle protection under various alcohol exposure conditions. Thank you for your question. I hope my answer is satisfactory.
Thank you very much. I am satisfactory.
Do you have any other questions, Olga?
No.
No. So the floor is open to the next member of our council, Associate Professor Andrei Volodymyrovich Maznichenko, if you have any questions.
Okay, can I start?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, dear colleague, first of all, I would like to thank you for the honor to participate in this defense of the thesis at your university. And so, I have several questions for this dissertation, for this thesis. And first one, why were these specific biochemical markers chosen for the study when there are numerous other markers available? Please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your insightful question. In selecting the biochemical parameters for this study, we based on the several key considerations. Firstly, relevance to the research object. We needed to choose the biochemical parameters closely associated with muscle contraction mechanism. The biochemical markers we selected, such as creatine kinase, lactate dehydrogenase, are all indicators directly related to muscle damage and energy metabolism. Secondly, literature support. We refer to previous studies that have shown chronic alcohol intoxication leads to muscle damage and biochemical metabolic disorders. And the biochemical parameters we choose act as biomarkers that can reflect the health of status and functions of muscle tissues. For example, elevated levels of creatine kinase are commonly associated with muscle injury. We acknowledge that a single biochemical parameters may not fully capture the complexity of the muscle dynamics. Therefore, we choose the multiple parameters to comprehensively assess the impact of 16 fluorines on the muscle function. Here is my answer.
So are you satisfied?
Yes, and I have second comments. Mm-hmm. And in your opinion, does the action of the aqueous fluorens C60 solution occurs at the central or peripheral levels? And consequently, is it possible for this solution to penetrate the blood-brain barrier? Please.
Well, thank you, Professor, for raising this point. Well, based on Yamada's findings, injecting 16 fluorines directly into the brain has a noticeable impact on the neural communications, changing the neurotransmitters level and affecting motor activity. On the other hand, when administered through the abdominal by intraperitoneal injection, they don't see a similar effect. Instead, they just observe the reduction in dopamine turnover. This distinction. This distinction suggests that although direct injection of 16 fluorines to the central nervous system can alter brain factor, intraperitoneal injection doesn't allow 16 fluorines to effectively cross the blood-brain barrier. So when they use such a systematic administration routes, the blood-brain barrier acts as a protective barrier, preventing 16 fluorines from reaching the brain tissues. This implies that future research could explore modification or derivatives of 16 fluorines to improve its activity and to penetrate the blood-brain barrier and make it a promising candidate for the therapeutic applications. This is my understanding and response to this question.
Okay, are you finished?
Yes, I finished.
Thank you. I'm satisfied.
Yes, thank you very much for your questions. And as for me, I have some questions too. And the first question is that from the point of view of your dissertation, Ivan, what mechanokinetic parameters was the most correctly characterize the process of muscle contraction and relaxation in the isotonic regime?
Thank you for your question. My understanding of this issue is in this study, the following parameters may be particularly important. The first one, changes in the contraction of the force and amplitude. Secondly, we would consider we would characterize the change in the relaxation of the time. This is my answer for your question.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to ask you if you studied velocity of shortening, for example, any other work output, or maybe length change of muscle. Only force or on some other parameters?
Yes.
If you didn't study, you can do it just.
That's a good question. Let me think about for a moment.
So tension as a force is very important parameter, but just my last question was if any other parameters were studied as well.
Sorry. Thank you for your question. And I would like to see under changes in the contraction force and amplitude for the examination. And understanding these changes helps assess the impact of 16 fluorines on the improving muscle contraction functions. In the alcoholic myopathy, increase the contraction force and amplitude indicate that the 16 fluorines may protect
something with connection. So I would like to ask if there is a problem only with Ivan or with everyone else. No, everyone is okay, only Ivan. I think he will connect in a moment, just for a while. I will wait for him. Something happened in China. In China. It's like,
sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's not. So I'm glad to see again. Mm-hmm. So I'm satisfied with your answer. So my next question is about fluorines, how they act as an antioxidant in your dissertation, how you investigated it, and what can you say about the metabolism of ethanol And what stage of this metabolism do fluoresce as an antioxidant? And which concentration you took?
I truly appreciate your question. The selection of...
Sorry, I can repeat it once more. What can you say about the metabolism of ethanol? And at what stage of this metabolism do fluoresce as antioxidant, and in which concentration?
I truly appreciate your question. I believe that the metabolism of ethanol primarily takes place in the liver, involving multiple stages, including action of alcohol dehydrogenase. Ethanol is the first catalyzed by alcohol dehydrogenase in liver to convert to acetaldehyde. During the process of the ethanol metabolism, acetaldehyde, a highly reactive intermediate product, can conveniently bind with the proteins and other cellular components, forming adducts, which leads to cell damage and oxidative stress, and preventing acetaldehyde formation is another stage where fluorescence may reduce the oxidative stress during the conversion of the ethanol to acetaldehyde to catalyzed by ADH, potentially through decreasing the oxidant of the NADH. Finally, I would like to say something about reducing acetaldehyde toxicity. Fluorescence can directly capture free radicals produced by acetaldehyde, reducing its conveniently binding with the cellular proteins, thereby diminishing acetaldehyde's toxicity. That's my understanding on the issue. Thank you for your question.
I think you are satisfied, and one more question. I would like you to clarify the concentration you took in your dissertation was taken from the theory, from literature, from previously made any other studied.
Yes, actually,
what was your conclusion?
I appreciate your question. We use a selection of 1 milligram per kilogram dose for 16 fluorescence administration. Is based on the extensive research. This dosage has been shown to elicit a measurable biological response without needing a significant toxicity, making it an ideal starting point for exploratory studies. It is below the LD15 values for both oral and intraperitoneal administration in rats and mice, ensuring safety. Furthermore, preliminary experiments have confirmed that this dose is effective in producing observed effect without causing adverse reaction. This approach is also supported by previous findings of 16 fluorescence protective effect in oxidative stress models and its rapid excretion in rats urine when administered at a higher dose. That's my answer to your question.
Yeah, thank you. I'm satisfied. And if there is no questions or remarks, if there are no questions or remarks, we'll go on. So thank you everyone for this good question session. And since the reviews and feedback from the official opponents are published on the university website following the procedures outlined by the law. The law is procedure for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy approved by the resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, number 44, dated January 12, 2022. So, since all feedbacks are positive, there is no need to read them out loud. Again, additionally, the one-time specialized academic council did not receive any requests from other individuals to evaluate Vан Нань's dissertation in writing or via email as well. At the same time, there are questions and comments in the reviews and feedbacks addressed to the applicant in his thesis. Dear Ivan, you have the floor to respond to the questions and comments made in review by Professor Kostikov Alexander Ivanovich. Please focus on addressing those questions and concerns and comments that were not raised during today's question session. Before answering, please read the question or comment you are addressing aloud. So, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
For you.
Question one. Despite the high quality and informative content of the figures, some of them are overloaded with graphic material. Some do not explain the reliability of the changes, and the reliability designation is not unified. Thank you for you to giving my opportunity to the further discussion this topic. For the question, the content of the graph is too complicated. When writing about the related content of the graphics in my paper, my original intention was to highlight the essential data and the most important findings. Next, I will appreciately simplify the graphics and by removing unnecessary details. First question, the reliability and changes was not explained. Regarding the reliability of data changes, I have clearly indicated the statistical test method used in statistical analysis section of my dissertation, but have not marked them all in all chats. First question, reliability level are not uniform. When writing the manuscript for my dissertation, I try to ensure that all charts and graphics use the uniform formation and standards in labeling reliability. In my final version of the dissertation, I will unify the reliability labels across all the charts to ensure consistency. This is my answer for the Professor Kostikov.
Are you satisfied? Is it everything?
Yes, it's
Alexander Ivanovich, are you satisfied?
Yes, I am satisfied. Thank you.
So we'll go on in the same way, and I pass the word to Vан Нань to answer the questions and comments from Maznichenko Andrei Volodymyrovich.
Okay. I will answer the question of the Maznichenko professor. Question one: it was advisable to pay more attention to the positive toxic effects of the studied aqueous solution of 16 fluorines and the biosafety of its use. My answer is I'm very grateful for your raising this issue, as it ensures the biosafety of the experimental material and the potential toxicity assessment is a crucial link in scientific research. We do indeed attach great importance to its possible toxic effect and biosafety during use. First of all, 16 fluorines as a novel nanomaterial has been widely studied in terms of biocompatibility and the potential toxicity. Prior to the experiment, we carefully reviewed relevant literature understanding the safety and the toxicity data of 16 fluorines in different biological models. Secondly, in the experimental design, we took the following measures to ensure biosafety and reduce the potential toxicity risk. First, selecting a suitable form of 16 fluorines, and then determine the appropriate dose to avoid possible toxicity. We are conducting toxicologic assessment is also very important. The last thing is strictly adhered to the laboratory safety and regulation during the experiment. Finally, our research result shows that at the used doses, the 16 fluorines solution did not cause significant toxic reaction or pathologic changes, inducing that under this experiment condition, the use of 16 fluorines is relatively safe. This is my understanding and the response to this question. Question 2. How was the stability of the aqueous solution of the 16 fluorines assessed? Stability is an important parameter in evaluating the application of any drugs or nanomaterial, and for 16 fluorines aqueous solution, this is also a matter we pay close attention to in our research. In assessing the stability of 16 fluorines, we have employed the following method. Firstly, physical stability assessment. Second, chemical stability assessment. Thirdly, storage conditions. Finally, biological stability. Our result indicates that with appropriate storage and usage conditions, 16 fluorines aqueous solution can maintain their activity and stability, thus ensure the accuracy of experimental data. In future research, we will continue to focus on the long-term stability of 16 fluorines aqueous solution in order to better direct their usage and management in clinical applications. That's my answer to this question.
And,
Thank you. I'm satisfied.
okay. Thank you very much, Andrei Volodymyrovich. Thank you very much, Ivan. As well, I would like to pass the word to Ivan again to answer questions and comments from Цимбалюк Ольга Володимирівна.
Sorry, from who?
Цимбалюк Ольга, професор Цимбалюк Ольга Володимирівна. Цимбалюк.
I need some time to find the name. Luke, okay. Please give me a second. Well, in section 2, the description of the statistical method for assessing the reliability of the result is incomplete. Respected expert, thank you for your question raised. In my research to ensure the reliability of the assessment result, I adopted the following statistical method. First and foremost, I will adopt the data collection. Secondly, I will adopt the descriptive statistical analysis. The third one, we use the average value to describe the average level of the cellular muscle contraction dynamics parameters in the experimental group compared to the control group. We also use a nominating test to verify if the data satisfy the normal distribution. Prior to the future statistical analysis, I use the KS test to verify if the data satisfy the normal distribution, as some statistical test requires the assumption of the normal distribution, and the analysis of the variance is employed. ANOVA to compare the difference in mean values among different groups in evaluating the impact of the 16 fluorines on the cellular muscle contractile dynamics after chronic alcohol exposure in rats. In addition, we will also use the repeated mutual ANOVA. By applying the above the statistical method, I ensure the reliability and the validity of the research result in part 2 of the paper due to space constraints. It may not contain the exhaustive description of this method. I will make necessary addition in the final version of the dissertation. That's my perspective on this issue. Thank you for your question. And question 2, figures in the third section are significantly overloaded with fact. which makes it difficult to read. It is advisable to present and describe each graphic sprightly. Thank you for your question. Valuable feedback. Regarding the issue you've raised about having an excessive number of figures which might lead to reading difficulties, I understanding your concern and agree that your suggestion will improve the readability and clarity of the paper. To address this, I would take the streamline the figures as the first step. Secondly, highlight the important points. Next, I will optimize structure, and then we will provide detailed description. With this as measures, I believe I can refine the third section of the paper, making it more concise and understandable. This not only helps the reader to grasp the main findings of the research better, but also presents my research outcomes more clearly. Here is my answer to this question. That's all.
Thank you very much. And Olga Volodymyrivna, are you satisfied with answers?
Yes, I am satisfied.
Thank you very much as well. So, the responses to the comments and questions from reviews of the referees and the feedbacks from the official opponents are complete. Do you have any other questions, maybe any further questions for the applicant? If there are no questions, so thank you very much for this good session of referee reviews. And we are moving on to the public discussion of the dissertation. You, as members of the one-time council, can openly express your opinion regarding the dissertation, its defense, and your position regarding the conferral, the Doctor of Philosophy degree to Vан Нань. Who would like to participate, maybe in open discussion, maybe on their own? Maybe Ivan Alexander Ivanovich Kostяков will open our discussion.
Maybe several words about remarks, yes? Despite the high quality and informative content of the figures, some of them are overloaded with graphic material. Some do not explain the reliability of the changes, and the reliability designation is not unified. But I am agree with all persons who discussed about this dissertation, that its dissertations was fulfilled on high level. Thank you.
Thank you. And maybe anyone else wishes to speak? Concerning
discussion?
No. Anyone else, not you. Thank you very much for your opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexander Ivanovich. Maybe anyone else can tell several words about the dissertation, its defense, and so on. Maybe Olga Mykolaївна can say several words.
Thank you, Алевтина Григорівна. I would like to note that based on the analysis of the thesis and some published works in professional journals, it can be concluded that Ván Nány's thesis is a completed scientific work that contains a number of new relevant scientific, theoretical, and practical results. This result highlights the dissertation's complexity and significant importance. This work is characterized by the skillful use of professional vocabulary, conceptual and terminological apparatus. logical and accessible presentations. The thesis meets the regulatory requirements of the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine regarding the design of this kind of research and the procedure for awarding degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and its author deserves to be awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 091 Biology, field of knowledge 09 Biology. I will vote for this work.
Thank you very much. Maybe is anyone else? Andrei Volodymyrovich, do you have any couple words?
I say very briefly, the topic of this dissertation is actual, and methods were used in this dissertation is adequate, and the work was done at a high level. And I consider that the dissertation of the effect of C60 fullerens of the dynamic of muscle contraction in right after chronic alcoholization is completed original scientific study, and study that meets all the requirements for dissertations for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I think the Van Nань deserves to be awarded to a degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of knowledge 09 of biology, and specialty of 091 biology. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Olga Volodymyrovna maybe have a couple words as well.
Yes, in general, I want to say that this is very interesting and relevant dissertation performed with adequate methods and well published. The main conclusion is one canon's dissertation, the effect of C60 fullerens on the dynamics of muscular soleus contraction in rats after chronic alcoholization is a completed and relevant study. Then performed with work the dissertation with the use of adequate modern methods were obtained new original results that are important both in the theoretical and practical aspects of physiology, biochemistry, and medicine. So its author, Wang Nan, deserves to be awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of knowledge 09 Biology, specialty 091 Biology. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will add a couple words too. And I say that I consider the dissertation of Wang Nань as the great positive, so improves the positive role of fluorines of carbon 60 in concentration 1 milligram per kilo, and it have a high positive role on the biomechanical and kinematic parameters, muscles under experimental study conditions, and this complex and comprehensive study was carried out using the groups of methods. First of all, mechanical kinetic study, next one histological study, and the next one biochemical study. And these different kinds of groups of methods was, I think, a good approach to prove and to reach some holistic picture of just effect of fluorines on muscle investigated. And I think it shows good effectiveness, great effectiveness. And the findings of Van Nань, on my opinion, and was said as well, is a dissertation of the great premise for the development in future. And next, investigations, of course, of new pharmacological approaches to treat alcohol-induced myopathy, and more precise dosage identification. I think it was a good job, excellent job done. And the dissertation is performed on required level, scientific and theoretical level. And Vан Нань develops the to confer some such a degree, Doctor of Philosophy in Biology. So we'll go on. Dear members of the one-time specialized academic council, you have been given before or during this session today meeting the draft decision of the council to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of knowledge 09 Biology, specialty 091 Biology to Vан Нань. Do you have any suggestions or comments to this document? No. If no, so there is a proposal to accept the draft decision of the one-time specialized academic council as a basic. Who is in favor of this proposal? Please vote. Oh, you can vote by hand, and there is no secret voting. Thank you very much. Who is against him? Is there anyone? No. Who is abstained? No. So the draft decision is accepted unanimously, so with everyone. Dear members of Specialized Academic Council, so one-time Specialized Academic Council, the voting procedure for conferring the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of knowledge 09 Biology, specialty 091 Biology to Ván Nань is announced. The council makes a decision by open voting. I ask you to vote for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of knowledge 09 Biology, specialty 091 Biology to Ván Nань. So it is voting is open with hands, as I understand. Those in favor, so who is for to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy to Ván Nань? Just use hands. Thank you. Who is against? And who is just any other decision? No. So the decision is taken unanimously. Now I need to announce this protocol of voting. According to the protocol of meeting of the one-time Specialized Academic Council of Lесі Українки National University, the composition of the one-time Specialized Academic Council are Mоренко Алевтина Григорівна, Абрамчук Ольга Миколаївна, as I am as a chairperson, Абрамчук Ольга Миколаївна as reviewer, Костюков Олександр Іванович opponent, Цимбалюк Ольга Володимирівна opponent, Масніченко Андрій Володимирович opponent. The meeting was attended by 5 members of the academic council, some of them, all of them online, including 3 doctors of science, of biological science, and 2 candidates of biological science in the which is related to the subject of the dissertation, which is under consideration. Voting results for 5 against none. Just with everyone, decision is taken. Now, dear colleagues, I need to announce the decision just as a document, which draft you know. of our council to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of biology, specialty of biology, to Ван Нань. But I think it is no need to read all the document. I would stop only because it repeat mostly of what we talked just through the whole hour. And now I will just stop on the final part about the voting. Results of the open voting for 5 against no, and based on the results of the open voting, the one-time specialized council conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of knowledge 09 biology, specialty 091 biology to Ван Нань. So it is our results of our work today. The video recording of the dissertation is done and is attached, will be attached. And I now give the final word. If there is no other comments and recommendation, I would give the final word to Ван Нань for his closing statement. You're welcome, Ван Нань.
Mm-hmm. Okay. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to each and every expert who has taken the time to attend my dissertation defense today. Especially, I want to thank you, my supervisor, Professor Alexander, and the chair of the defense of the committee for their unwavering support and dedication. Their insights and guidance have been invaluable to me throughout this process, and I am deeply appreciative. Additionally, I extend my heartfelt thanks to the Department of Human and Animal Physiology of Lесі Українки, Volon National University for providing me with this remarkable opportunity to present my research. Lastly, I express my sincere gratitude to all of you for being here and for your attention and feedback.
Thank you very much, and I think on behalf of everyone today who is present today on this meeting, I congratulate you on with your successful defense of your dissertation and on the award of your doctorate, and we wish you success in your future professional work, scientific work, in your research and any other things. So the meeting of the one-time specialized academic councils is is going to be closed. Thank you all for your work. It is well done, I think. So recording should be stopped now.